Good morning. Welcome to On the Level Racing Channel. And what a feast of racing we have this afternoon. 8 solid races at Ascot. The final day. We're going into this current week pretty good. 4 days gone, and we are plus 27.3 points up, which ain't bad because it's quite a difficult week to make you stay in profit. But we've managed to hold our own at the moment. But obviously we've still got another day to go. So we're going to go straight into it. We're not going to muck about here. It's a good 8 race card here. 12:40, nice early start. And there's a horse here that I've missed the boat, I think, on the price wise. That's Willie Haggis's horse here, a plum. Now, if I was able to do this podcast last night, we would have got in the region of 7-1 on this horse. Now 4-1, 9-2 generally in places. And the form line here is obviously, I think, his last run here at Ascot on soft ground. I mean, not really a very good draw. He had stall 9. However, under Tom Marguan, who rides the horse again, was only beaten by a horse called Tinto by neck. Now Tinto actually goes in the main event, later on the card. So that is pretty good form. And the thing is that he will get every yard of Ascot, especially on his soft ground. I mean, he come out of stall 9 that day. He's going to come out of stall 13 this afternoon, which is probably a little bit better than it was. And he would have to have a serious chance here with Tom Marquand on in the saddle. Others I looked in here, I thought Swindler could be very interesting, but obviously carry a lot of weight here for Ed Walker. Andrew Zeddy comes in for the ride. Not really proven on soft ground for me. That's the only thing that will go against me. Not the weight, just the ground. Winner here at Ascot back in September last year, when taking a Class 2 handicap, the Fever Tree, over 6 furlongs, and done it quite comfortably. Ran on very well in the final stages, and recorded quite a reasonable time doing it, but that was all quick ground. He hasn't really shown that kind of ability on ground that's softer than good. That would just be my concern. Not the fact I said he's giving the weight away, it's just the fact that it's going to be a tough ask. But he is a consistent type anyway. On to another horse here, Blue Mist, Roger Charlton here. Very good second last time out. A very good draw in stall 20 when come at Newbury. That was over 7 furlongs. Drops back in trip this afternoon. That form has took quite a bit of a dent, really. If we go back to his last run over 6, we have to go right back now. In fact, no, sorry. He hasn't run over 6. This is a big drop back into 6 furlongs for Blue Mist. His ability on soft ground, which he has got a little bit of form actually. He's one over a mile here, Ascot, on a good ground, and he ran quite. Oh, he's been on good soft here. Sorry, he ran the Victoria Cup last May when finishing 6 off a mark of 97. Again, the first 4 of the 5 home were a high draw, so that's where we will probably go. So from that stall 20, he's going to have an exceptionally good chance. I mean, 97 comes in this off a mark of 95. He's £2 down, and he would have to be respected off that current mark of 95. One other price here I liked was Clive Cox horse here. Adam Kirby comes in for the ride. Louis Del Palma. Now, I think it's way overpriced at 14-1. I mean, his last win came here at 6 furlongs on soft ground last May when taking a Class 3. Obviously, this is a step up in class, but he ran a cracking time doing it. But he ran in the region of he clocked to 75.54, which ain't bad on this kind of ground. So no one is going to enjoy the ground. That was a mark at 89. Excuse me, Sen. And 89. However, he is up £6 for that, and he's still struggling off that penalty. So, really, with the draw the way it is, I would like to think Blue Mist and a Plum can run very well here. I mean, at the prices, but you've got Blue Mist here in at 6-1, and there's been quite a bit of drift on the Plume out to 9-2, 5-1. There's been a bit of money for Swindler also in this race. So, you know, it's my just concern, as I said, with Swindler is the draw, stall 2. I mean, he's going to struggle a bit from now, and the fact that he's showing no ability on soft ground. So I would have to go with the 2 against the field here. That is Blue Mist, and I'll stay with a Plume because the money's come for the horse now. So it'll be a 1 point win at 5-1 with Corals on a Plume, and a 1 point win at 6-1 with Bet365 and Blue Mist. That's in the Silver Wokingham handicap. On to the 115, which is the Queen Mary Stakes. 18 go to post. Don't get this guy. This is a Group 2, so you only pay 3. Depends on where you're betting with. Bet365 might even go up to 4 places for this. And I had about 8 or 9 horses that could win this race, to be honest. It's not going to be easy. I mean, you have to respect Wesley Ward's horse here, Campanelle. Purely the fact that this horse has won over 5 furlongs, not 4.5. So this horse gets to 5 furlong. And he's set a blistering timing, but he's, 55.66 for a 5 furlong on fast ground. I mean, if you like work it out correctly on softish ground, you probably have to about 3.5 seconds onto that. And he's still running a sub 59, which is pretty quick. But I think it'll be a few in here that will be a lot quicker. And I'm coming from stall 1 again. He could find a couple here too good. I also looked at a horse here, Richard Hannon's horse here, Happy Romance, a nice dandy man filly. Then again, a low draw out of stall 2. Last seen at Sandown, winning on good ground, and a 3-horse event. That was on good to soft. And went up by 4.5 lengths and was backed in to win the race regardless. But obviously would have to step up from that ability to try and win this race. If we go to his Newmarket run and debut, I mean, that was a bit better form, and that was behind the likes of Sacred, Sardinia Sunset, Mahal, and he had she had Risque back 3 lengths that day also. I mean, Risque is definitely one on my shortlist, but yes, that horse is 66-1. I don't know if there's any money around for Risque. Pretty much down to that price. I mean, now he's 150, but he was 66-1 yesterday. He's 151 now, so we could probably just wipe him off the board. Others I liked here. We have to look at Sacred. Sardinia Sunset's in here again. Sacred's in here. Sacred's second favourite for Chivy Park Stud. James Doyle comes in for the ride. A very good win on debut at Newmarket. When beating Sardinia Sunset by a good 11 3/4, and did it in good fashion for Willie Haggis. The time scale on the horse here, that was on firm ground. That was a 58.90. That's a sub 59. So that's pretty quick on the that was on good to firm ground. We'll have to see how she acts on this softer ground. But the horse I'm going to put up here, and if someone remembers who I know very well, I gave this horse out to him as a info I had in this horse first time out for Mark Johnston, and that was Sands of Time. Goes in this race, stall 12, get a nice toe into the race, nice Bobby Kittens, we love the soft ground, 18-1, too big for me. Even though it's going to be his turf debut, her turf debut, but she came out and blitzed her field by 5 lengths. Yeah, obviously, yeah, she's got to step up and to show she can show that ability again against some very useful types in this race. I mean, others you could probably mention Most Beautiful there of More Beautiful of AP O'Brien's. Ryan Moore comes in for the ride, 5-4 favourite, very short. One on Good to Firm, first time out. She won that over at Nace under Seamus Heffernan. Favourite to do so, but she set a time of about 58-59, so she's quick. But again, that was on fast ground. And her draw here, she gets draw 18. She gets a good draw, so there's no reason why Ryan Moore couldn't get a good toe into the race here. As the winner, it's an easy one, but I have to Dutch in the race because like I said, there's 18 runners. I'm going to put up 2 each way bets here, outsiders. I'm going to put half a point each way on Happy Romance at 12-1 generally across the board. And we're going to go a half a point each way at 22s with William Hill on Sands of Time. Hopefully both can run a very big race. And please try and look out for the 4 places that will be paid on some of the bookmakers online. On to the 150. This is the Coventry. Very, very, very hard juvenile Group 2 this race is. And I whittled this down to just the 3. One being Aidan O'Brien's horse, Admiral Nelson. Now, lovely horse by Kingman. Obviously, will get a mile eventually, but 6 points a good place to start. And was quite impressive when winning on debut over at the Curragh on quick ground. Clocking a reasonable time actually, 73.14, so a minute and 13. Yeah, that was. I think this horse is definitely up there in this race to really, especially the way Ryan Moore's riding now at the back end of the week. He's starting to pick up Jim Crowley on the winners. Also, we have to have a look at here on Creative Force, who was pretty impressive for Charlie Appleby on debut. William Buick comes in for the ride. Very good stall 9. Won at Newmarket on fast ground when Big Hot scored Imperial Force. And back in 4th was Dark Lion. Also comes into this race as well. Take on each other again. And also back in there, Seika is in there. So, and that was, that wasn't a bad time. That was, that was clocked at 71 points, so 1 minute 11. A couple of seconds faster than Admiral Nelson. But again, we don't know about the ground, this horse, how this horse is going to react on the slower surface. But Charlie Appleby's had a good week anyway, so has William Buick. And then finally, the man of the moment, who's up there, Jim Crowley, stall 4. He's going to give himself something to do here, some work to do here, but no reason why he can't. He's won on good ground, so he's going to prefer the easier ground than the other 2 I mentioned. And that was a good winner by 4 of them, Kadar, when winning at Newbury. It's only a Class 5, big step up in trip distance, obviously, but most of them are taking that big step forward. They would have really 3 that stood out for me in this race. And again, we've got 15 runners. We could probably Dutch in this race again. As a winning perspective, the last 2 years, 3 of the last 4 years has gone to the favourite. So I like to be with. I'm going to be with Joseph O'Brien, Aidan O'Brien, and Ryan Moore here with the favourite. I think Admiral Nelson could be pretty smart. I think this will improve on this ground. So I reckon a 2-point win at 9-4 on Admiral Nelson. Obviously, the main danger is Quaidar, but I'm going to have a little half a point each way on Creative Force at 10s. That's in the Coventry 150. On to the 225, which is the Coronation Stakes. Group 1, first of 2 Group 1s today. And obviously, again, I've got this down to 3. Alpine Star, Quadrilateral and Run Wild, all the top 3 in the betting here. And it's just, for me, I can't have Alpine Star at all. Even though it's coming out of a good yard, just because Ayrton's the Tories riding, you have to respect the pair. Cloak of Spirits clocked a very good time when she finished second to in the 1,000 guineas. She clocked a, well, I got her clocked at 137.8, so that's quite quick, really. But she don't, this is a slightly shorter trip, but Cloak of Spirits would have to be respected for Richard Hannon. Again, there's also, I don't think you can put out this race. I'm just going to quick look at it. It's the American horse here, American filly, Mr. Motion's horse. Blitzed him at Churchill last time out. We went in a stakes race over a mile. And this horse is called Sharing. And that one out of 101 comes into this of 101 again. No penalty coming here. So that horse would have to be, Sharing would have to be respected, very much so, and clocked probably the fastest time in the race coming into this. 1 minute 36.26. So pretty quick, and at 7-1, big price. Run Wild, which is a nice filly by Amazon. Seen coming in off the back of the listed win at Newmarket. Win the Pretty Potties Filly Stakes. By won it impressive by three parts of a length. That was over mile 2 on good ground. As we go for a mile or 7 furlongs, 7 furlongs, I don't think the form's solid. When I say, well, it's partly solid, should I say? Sorry, she finished behind in the listed Montrose Filly Stakes at Newmarket back in November last year. She finished behind the likes of Born with Pride and Peaceful. Now, Peaceful, as we know, she's gone out and won the Guineas over in Ireland. Born with Pride was very, very disappointing yesterday, but I want to put a line through Born with Pride purely because the horse was running over mile 6, which I can't understand why they even attempted to go from a mile to a mile 6. I thought it was just crazy. So that is definitely still a good piece of form. Purely that we can probably put a line through Born with Pride's last run, and the fact that Peaceful come out and won the Irish Guineas. So the Irish 1000. So that is a very, very good piece of form indeed. And then Quadrilateral. Now there's a few horses in this race that will go forward. There's 3 or 4 can make the running here. It could either be a fast run clip or it would just be a dawdle. And if it is a dawdle, which I think it's going to be, it's going to benefit Quadrilateral here, Roger Charlton's horse, who will fly late off the pace. Which has got only a head to find with Cloak of Spirits, which shouldn't be difficult. The form line here, Millisle of Jessica Harrington's run reasonably well yesterday, finishing 5th. So, yeah, I can't see why Quadrilateral can't run a big race here. The stats for favourites. There's been 2 winning favourites at the last 3 runnings of this race. There's only been 1 double-figure price, 2 double-figure prices over the last 10 years. So looking for an outsider here, you're not going to find many. It's really, honestly, it's Quadrilateral's race probably to lose here for Roger Charlton. And she's going to have to prove to me that she is the business. She's got form on soft ground. No one's got form on soft ground. It's O'Brien's other horse here, William Buick rides Love Locket. Nice filly by No Nay Never. Last seen, we're winning a Group 3 over at Leopardstown. We landed the Leopardstown fillies trial stakes over 7 furlongs on quick ground and won it quite convincingly. She's got form on soft. She's won over 6 furlongs on soft. Last year when winning a maiden at Nace, and she came out and won over 7 furlongs on heavy ground. She was beaten on heavy ground by just half a length. So I'm a little bit concerned. Will she get the trip? I mean, she might not get the trip here. Love Locket. Again, O'Brien down the bottom here, So Wonderful. She would have to step up at least, well, I think £10 to win this. She's not even the same class here. So if there was 8 runners, it would be a bit better for me, because I want to back this this American horse each way, especially at the price. I mean, it's the unknown quantity horse in the race. We know Quadrilateral and Cloak of Spirits have been there. They've run against each other in the Guineas. Shame if Love hasn't come here to run. Obviously, she's got expectations in Ireland. So on the speed stats, I mean, if Sherry runs up to what she has achieved in America, I mean, she's like a second and a half. She's a second and a half in front of anything in this race, which is equivalent to about 3 parts of a length. She's got 3/4 lengths to, on the main 2 here. I see Murphy in for the ride. And we'll have a look at Alpine Star. She's a filly by Cedar Moon. I mean, Jessica Harrington's horse here. Last seen taking a Group 2 over at the Curragh when landing the Debutante Stakes. Just got up by a short head, and she only beat So Wonderful by length in her 3/4. But Love, that's the way the form line is. Love was further back in 5th. No, Love came out and won the Guineas. That's where probably the form line is. But it's just the fact it's So Wonderful is in that form line, which knocks me sideways a little bit. So with Quadrilateral and Cloak of Spirits, the only 2 horses to come out and show anything in Group 1 company this year. I'd like to think one of these will win it. And I actually think that Cloak of Spirits could hold the form. I don't know why. I just think Cloak of Spirits could hold this form against Quadrilateral. I think Quadrilateral will have it all to do. She had to step up. She's capable. She'll come in late round. She's got the ability. She's got the speed. But on this ground, I just wait if Cloak of Spirits gets first run on her. It could be a different story. So I think half a point each way at 17 to 2. Yeah, with William Hill, half a point each way with 17 to 2 on Cloak of Spirits in the 225 Coronation Stakes. On to the 3 o'clock is the second Group 1, which is the St James's Palace. 7 go to run again. So it's going to be very hard to get each way out, and it's the match up again between Wichita and Pinatubo. Which one's going to be the victor here? Pinatubo, we know, finished 3rd in the Guineas. Wichita finished 2nd, and Frankie went on record during the week, I think last week, he said he reckons Wichita will have too much pace for Pinatubo. If that's true, we don't know. They're 1 each now, taking on each other. I mean, Pinatubo beat Wichita quite comfortably in the Dewhurst. But obviously it looks like that Wichita's come on and made a better transition than Pinatubo has. On the merit of the speed factor here, I mean, the quickest horse in the race is by far Wichita. I mean, she's got about a second on Pinatubo at the moment, and I think Wichita's got the better draw in stall 7. But it's only 7 runners, so it shouldn't make a half factor, considering the last 2 winners of this race come from low draw. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Pinatubo, and I would like to think on this easing ground she could reverse that form with Wichita. I really, really do. I don't think stall 2 is negative. You have to think about it. The Guineas was a complete quicker ground. I mean, he didn't seem to pick up as well as he did as a juvenile. And like you said, Frankie seems to think the Irish horse can beat him again. I mean, Pinatubo's already beaten Arizona by 2 lengths last year. Beat Positive by 5 lengths last year. So I won't put this horse off at all coming back and winning this. I think we're going to get a cracking price on this horse as well today, 6-4. I think that's worth getting stuck into. I think at 6-4, Pinatubo. I mean, you can get 7-4 with Paddy Power. Yeah, 7-4 Paddy Power, which is the best, I think. Yeah. So I'm gonna nap him. I think he's gonna have this time around on his easing ground. I think Pinatubo can get the better of Wichita here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a big run by Threat as well in this race. Richard Hannon, is it Richard Hannon's horse? I think Threat. Yeah, Richard Hannon's horse. But I'm going to go Pinatubo on a nap. I'm going to nap Pinatubo here. We're going to go. It's the last day, so we're going to go big. I'm going to have a 3-point win on Pinatubo at 7-4 with Paddy Power. It's a 3-point win. On to the 3:35. It's the Diamond Jubilee Stakes. 10 go to post. Another Group 1, so it's the third Group 1 of the day. A lot of money around for Skeptical here of Dennis Hogan's. The Tory comes for the ride. Very nice gelding by Exceeding Excel. Last seen winning over 5.5 furlongs over at Naas when landing the Woodland Stakes. This is an event by 3 lengths, and it was quite impressive. Clocked a time of, I've got it here somewhere, guys. It was 73 to 1:13.20, which is not the fastest in the field, believe it or not. But that was on firm ground. Again, the quantity, we don't know what this horse is going to be like on easy ground again. It's a guessing game. We know Shine So Bright will go on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised this horse tries and gets away from him again. Oasis Dream colt. So I would think Shine So Bright will be definitely one up in the pace. One I do like here at a price, and he's an old boy, 8-year-old now. I don't think an 8-year-old has ever won this race. No, he will be the oldest horse to ever win this race. That's the Tin Man. Nicely bred by Equiano. We know we can get 6 furlong trip, and we haven't seen this horse win since Haydock last 2 years ago. We went for Mark 116 when landing the 32 Red Spring Cup Stakes at Haydock. That was a Group 1. That came on heavy ground. And if the ground has eased a little bit, this will definitely go in his favour here. And could give him a good chance at a big price, about 14 to 1. Another one I thought was quite a big price was Stuart Williams' horse here, Breathtaking Look. A nice mare by Bated Breath, so plenty of speed there, and wasn't disappointing really on coming out losing a length to Oxted in the Albion Stakes. That was on quick ground. Ran on well in the closing stages, and was just beaten by about a horse a day. The Oxted's quite a good improver anyway. As on this ground, he's a 7 furlong wing on good ground. Winning a Class 2. This is a big step up indeed, and that's the reason why she's 33 to 1 to win this race. Again, as I say, as for winners in this race, there's been nothing above the first 2 or 3 in the betting in the last 6 years. So we're looking at putting it at the top end of the market here. One Master. Again, lovely mare. Never does anything wrong, this girl. Consistent type. Seen winning over on very soft ground at Longchamp back in October when landing the Prix de la Forêt. And did that quite impressively indeed. Had Speaking Colours well beaten that day. And was last seen at Ascot in the Quipco Champion Sprint Stakes over 6 furlongs on heavy ground again, which is beaten by a length to Don Juan Triumphant, which was quite a shock result, I think. And Speaking to Colours again was a bit well beaten in that race. So was Hello Yum Zane well beaten. So she holds quite a few of these on the form line. Skeptical. I said we don't know much about how this horse is going to react. I mean, he's short now because I'm assuming he's short because it's Irish bred, and the fact that Frankie's coming in for the ride. But I'm gonna look here at a rate horse here. I mean, purely that it's got soft ability, and it's been a while. I think the horse has won actually. That's Kevin Ryan's horse. I just don't know why I fancy him. This horse. This jumps out at me. As no eighth in the Champions Stakes then, but prior to that, 1 and 7 6 furlong on soft ground when a Group 1 won the Sprint Cup Stakes. Hello Yumzane, beating the Tin Man by half a length when getting £2 at the weight. Obviously Tin Man comes here off level weights, which is has to hold that form line. I think Hello Yumzane could run quite well on his ground. He seems to be very, very versatile on soft to heavy ground. Hasn't run badly at Ascot before. Last year, finished third in the Commonwealth to advertise. So that's pretty good form. That was off a mark 113. And he comes into 118, so he's up £5. But I wouldn't be surprised not to see a big run from this horse, and a good price, I think. What price we get him? Yumzane. There's been money around for the horse. I thought it would be. And I'm going to have 1 point each way at 5 to 1. 1 point each way at 5 to 1. William Hill on Hello Yumzane in the Diamond Jubilee Stakes. On to the 410, which is the Wokingham, the big handicap of the day. 22 runners. Stick your opinion, guide. I've got this down to about 6 or 7. The horse, obviously, we've got to watch out for here. You like to race Kevin Ryan horse here in Beazler. Very consistent type. He's a 5-year-old gelding. Last seen when winning a Class 2 over at Doncaster on heavy ground. That was over 6 furlongs. And did that quite impressively going away under Kevin Stott. Prior to that, there's one on Good to Soft, one at Soft at Redcar. So the soft form is there, and it's good that this is fantastic. That the fact that the trainer has given D'Souza the ride instead of Kevin Stott, which is quite annoying, really. I always stick to a jockey that is riding the horse exceptionally well, and they give it to someone else. We know about Summergan. This horse will be held up and come with a late rattle, as he always does. No Daddy Tulloch riding. James Doyle comes in for the ride. Good draw in stall 14, so he should get toe in the race. Last seen behind Tinto in the Betway handicap over at Newmarket on quick ground, beating length for the 3/4. And I'm just a little bit concerned here that I said on his slower ground, but Summergan has got form, some kind of form in his ground. If I go through it now, we have to go back to the place like Ascot last year, 4th in the Challenge Cup. Yeah, soft ground for him. Ran here. In the Wokingham last year, we're finishing 5th to Kate Burrow. Now, Kate Burrow was backed off the balls to win the race. And again, the horse ran on too late at a stall 15, a reasonable draw. And I'm going to give this bloody horse a chance again. He's going to win eventually, and just be one of those days I'll miss him. And the thing is that James Dole's got the ride on the horse, stands out so much on Summergan. And I would have to put the horse in the race as one of the bets, I'm afraid. Others I want to look at the race. Gulliver comes in here with a lot of respect. For David Amara again, Ryan Moore comes in for the ride. 6 and behind Summergan that day at Newmarket. But prior to that, I did win on York last year at soft grounds, win the Coral Street Trophy off a mark of 100. That was over 6 furlongs, beat a horse called Hyper. He beat basically quite a few of these. He beat Hyper Focus Danzino. Louis De Palma goes over at the Silver Wokingham, and Lahore, Frank the Form recently by coming out in Newmarket, winning Newbury, I think Newbury won. So that's pretty good. That's good form of Gulliver. But now a £2 high mark. Ones I looked at a price here was Recon Mission of Tony Carroll's. Holly Doyle comes in for the ride. Last seen when finishing 6th last time out, over at Newmarket to Tinto, and obviously had the likes of Swindler in there, Total Commitment. They both run obviously the other Wokingham and first race on the card. Gulliver was back there, back behind Recon Mission. Summer Gang was way in front, and so was Tinto. So you would have to give. Recon Mission could set this up a good clip on this soft ground. The horse has won on soft at York last year when taking a Class 2 handicap off a mark of 97. Comes into this of 100, so £3 high mark. Could struggle really, but is a big price, about 50 to 1. I would like to see a big run for Recon Mission. Will be there up to the last furlong, and then it would just fade. A horse that doesn't go well on the ground, but has got a reasonably good speed check here is Danny Tulloch Road. He comes in for David O'Mara's horse here, on Arecibo. Is it Arecibo? Yeah, he's riding Arecibo. Now, I put this horse up a few times. I've been very, very disappointed with the horse. But if we go back to when this horse ran over 5 furlongs last year, when finishing second to Dakota Gold in the listed Ruse Stakes. Back in third there was Danzino to a neck, off level weights. And the fact that Danzino's best time here is 1:14 and Arecibo is like 1:10. This horse is quick over 6 furlongs, that's for sure. And will have to be respected if any money comes for it in the market. Last time out winner, Silent Echo, would be a big price probably. Yeah, 16 to 1. Was quite taken with the run last time out when winning over at Newmarket. When beating a horse called Intisab off a mark of 95. And we'll have to deal with a £4 penalty here. As looking for the back of the stats, horses coming. There's only been one horse that has won a race that come out and won this race off the back of a £6 penalty. Most of the horses that have finished second or runner up last time out have won this race quite considerable times. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the last 10, a 50% chance. That's why I like Summer Gang. Purely on that this horse deserves to win a race of this nature. One more horse I want to look at in this race, and that is Soldier's Minute. Joe Fanning comes in for the rider for Keith Dalglish. Still waiting, nice draw. Been on the all-weather over the winter. It hasn't run too badly. And it's finished 7th here back in October at York in the Coral Sprint behind Gulliver. And a few of these actually. I looked to very one pace over the 6 furlongs on soft ground. Ascot's a little bit different. But his last run at Ascot wasn't very impressive. That was in this race last year when finishing only 19th. What kind of draw did he have that day? Still 29. He had a high draw, so he didn't take advantage of it. So I think in this Wokingham, we have to go 2 against the field, obviously. Summer Gang is going to be one of them, that's for sure. I think also, and I think, this Belicia could be another Cape Byron from last year. It could blitz them. So it's going to be a 1-point win at 5 to 1, bet 365 on Bielsa. And I'm going to go 1 point each way, 8 to 1, with bet 365 on Summer Gang. If Summer Gang doesn't get placed there, I'll be shocked. The horse just flies home, and he will be going past horses like water. That is standing still. So Summergan has to be a good place money. So 1 point each way, 8-1 on Summergan, and a point win on Biesta at 5-1 in the Bet 365 Wokingham Stakes. On to the final race of the entire Royal Meeting, and that is a marathon run, the longest flat race here, 2 mile, 5.5 furlongs. And I'm definitely in the pocket here of the Grand Vizier. Now, the money's already gone for this horse. It was 4-1 last night, and I've missed it. We're now getting as short as 11-4. I really think Ian Williams' horse could run well. 5-2 now is going short out. I don't think the horse is overexposed on the only time it's run. Last time we saw this horse run on the flat, finished 7th over in the Marsh Cup over at Newbury. That was over 2 mile. His jumping ability wasn't great. Never won over jumps. He's won at Ascot. That's the thing. He's won at Ascot here. He won the Ascot Stakes last year when beating Build Me Up Buttercup or Willie Mullins, who was back off the ball to win the race. Actually, bang. And Fun Mac was well beaten that day to nearly 9 lengths. That form's been franked, by the way, by Coeur de Lion, who won the other staying race this week. So that is quite good form for Grand Vizier. Others we have to look at here. Obviously, Fun Mac has got to reverse the form with the Grand Vizier. Who Dares Wins, who will come in as favourite, Alan King. Alan King's already had the winner this week, I believe. Let me double check. I thought he had a winner at Ascot this week. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Cool. He had a runner. I'm sure he had a couple. I'm sure he had a runner here this week at Ascot. Oh no, sorry, it was Newmarket. He had a runner. He had a runner in the Zarowich last year, but as not runners this year, no, I must be mistaken. No, he had a runner back in March. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So no, the flat form. His flat form ability. His marks about 104. His winning marks 101. And he comes into this off a mark of 107, £6 penalty still. A bit short in the market. I think it's also 11-8, 6-5 to win this race. And there's not a very good record of favourites in this race. In fact, there's been 2 favourites, I think, over the last 10 years have won this race. I'm going to stick my neck out. I said the price is gone, but what can you do? Down the bottom there, Nate the Great gets weight all round here. Andrew Baldwin's horse. Come out of small weight, get a nice tone of race. Oyster Murphy rode the horse last time at Newmarket over a 1.5 miles when beaten by the Trader. And he could probably get this test of stamina, to be honest, yeah. His furthest run he has is over a mile. He's run it here last year in the Queen Vase when finishing in quite a way down the field in 10th. Didn't go a yard on the soft ground. The thing is, as he improved since, he could be the dark horse in the race. Purely that Oyster Murphy's taken the ride. Yeah, it's a very, very hard race to assess here. What horse is going to turn up for the distance? Who's going to get a trip in the ground? I think we have to be realistic here. I'll go for Who Dares Wins. I think. I'll go for Who Dares Wins because Ian Williams' stats in this race if I looked it over earlier on, are not very good at all. Andrew Baldwin won this last year with a fancy runner. There's been no money around this year for Nate the Great. I mean, it's just a kind of race you want to leave alone. It's just I'm in two minds in what I'm going to pick here. Very, very difficult. You never know how that race is going to pan out. I mean, on the merits, I mean, in file has run the quickest time apart from Nate the Great in this race. The fact that Nate the Great goes well on soft ground and Infile does not, so you can see my point here. Ryan Moore rides Infile and Nate the Great rides Murphy. And it's interesting that Ryan Moore rides for Gary Moore as well. I mean, if we have a look at Infile, because Infile's price is 12 to 1. Ryan rode him back in July last year, when he finished with a very good third over mile 6. That was on quicker ground at Sandown. And he has been proven on marathon trips and been doing quite well over here, quite well. Look, we'll just go for a stab here, because I mean, don't get me wrong, this last race is an open race. I mean, it's just whoever stays best. I mean, somebody who's been there and done it. Who dares wins a reprice? Price at 65, 11 to 8, you can get there. The Grand Bizet, I do like 11 to 4, but Ian Williams' record was not very good in this race. Nate the Great, Baldwin won this last year. Yeah, we could say a good chance. I'm going to take a chance here, each way bet here. It's the last bet of the day. Let's just go for it. We're going to point each way. 12 to 1 on Infile. Infile in the last race, Ryan Moore's right for Gary Moore. In the Queen Alexandra Stakes at 240 at Ascot. 1 point each way at 12 to 1. Just bring the curtain raiser down. So I'll go take the sections again, guys, just so you know what's going on. I'll get all my sheets back up, because it would be easy to get the sheets up, so that I'm doing. Okay, so the first bet here is a 1 point win on a Plume at 5 to 1 with Ladbrokes, I believe, and the other one was a 1 point each way at 11 to 2 on Blue Mist. Just keep an eye on the market move for Louis De Palma. Just be interested. But there are two against the field. Two fielder, Blue Mist and a Plume. Okay, 1 point. We'll go 1 point win on each. Okay, just 1 point win on each. No each ways. In the 115, which is the Queen Mary. I'll just get it back up, guys. Give me a second. So much paperwork here, it's unbelievable. The Queen Mary here. Again, I was in two minds here what I was going to do, but I'm going to stick what I'm going to go for. We're going to have a half a point each way on Happy Romance at 12 to 1, generally across the board, and also half a point each way on Sands of Time at 20 to 1 with Paddy Power. On to the 150, which is the Coventry Stakes. Group 2, and again we're going to go two against the field here. We're going to have Admiral Nelson, a 2 point win at 5 to 2 on Admiral Nelson, 5 to 2, and a half a point each way at 11 to 1 with William Hill on Creative Force. On to the first Group 1 of the day, which comes in the way of the Coronation Stakes, and here we are going to stick my neck out here. As I said, I'm going to have half a point each way at 17 to 2 on Cloak of Spirits. Yeah, Cloak of Spirits in the Coronation Stakes. 225. On to the 3 o'clock. It's the St James's Palace. Just got to try and find it. How can someone have so much paper? That's unbelievable. So yeah, St James's Palace here. And I'm in half a point each way here on a big price horse. No, sorry, it's wrong. Sorry, do apologise. Net for the day, 3-point win, Pinatubo. At generally you can get 13 to 8 now. 7 to 4. 7 to 4 Paddy Power, 3-point win, Pinatubo. The mighty horse can bounce back, I think so. The 335, which is the Diamond Jubilee Stakes. I'm having a half point each way here on 1 point each way. Sorry, 1 point each way at 5 to 1 on 1 point each way at 5 to 1 on Hello Yum Zane in the Diamond Jubilee Stakes, which is the 335 at Ascot. And on to the 410, which is the Wokingham itself. And in the Wokingham here, I'm going for 2 against the field, and I'm going for 1 point each way at 8 to 1 on Summergand, and a 1 point win on Biesla at 5 to 1, with both with Bet365. And in the final race, we can have a stab here. It's literally a stab, guys. Anything can win this race, to be honest, or whatever. 1 point each way at 14 to 1 now. We just got 14s now on William Hill. 1 point each way at 14s on Infile. Ryan Moore's last ride of the day. Okay. So that is all the selections for the last day at Ascot. I hope you guys have been lucky. I hope you've enjoyed the videos over the last 5 days. Like I said, we're in profit. We'll spend a bit of money a day, but hopefully we get some winners coming back as well. And I like to break that £400 barrier for the month, which is my goal. So all I can say is have a great Saturday, have a great Sunday and Father's Day with your kids. Be lucky, be safe, and just keep your distances and look after your family. Okay, on the level, Racing Channel signing out.